Hello everybody, and welcome to the 200 sub celebration. I'm actually incorrect, because it's actually 202 at the moment, which fills me with no end of gratitude. I'm beyond thankful to every single one of you who is actually here, my regulars. Let me just say hello to everybody in chat real quick. Let me see. Kizza asks me if I'm running late. No, Kizza, it's the time zone change screwing up the differences between here and where you are. Let me see. Monkey says happy birthday. Thank you, Monkey. Let's see here. Kingdom of Vinland pops in with Promethean Hails. Promethean Hails, my friend. Stormy is in. Good morning, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button. Yeah, please do like, share, and subscribe. If you are feeling particularly generous, I do have a subscribe star and a PayPal. All of that should be in the description. We have a Marcin Johansson, or Johansson. Welcome. I think this is the first time you've popped in. It's good to see new people popping in. And Maureen is in. And Maureen also thought she was late. Yeah, no, it's the time zone change. Okay, so I don't have a lot prepared because I was really hoping to get some questions. And as usual, you know, it's the wackiest question you can come up with. I will give you an answer. I make no promises as to whether it's accurate, factual, or even relevant. I've got to move a few things around here next to me. That's not bad. It'll do. It's a bit of a cluttery mess behind me. Let's see here. We can have a look at some news, I suppose. And just for the sake of checking the Newfoundland news, I'll bring up Saltwire here in Newfoundland. That should be this one. There we are. This screaming gentleman is Brad Gushu. He is one of the more famous athletes for Newfoundland. He's a curler. And if you don't know what curling is, it's incredibly difficult to explain it. It's basically pool on ice, in a sense, or shuffleboard in writ large would be a fair way to put it. So let's have a look at what we've got for stories here. We have a 15-year-old boy appearing in court on attempted murder charges after an attack in St. John's. I heard about this on the radio yesterday or the day before. I'm very certain YouTube will not appreciate it, but... Oh, hi, Billy. Nice to see you. As I said, I'm very certain YouTube won't appreciate it, but this is the reason you should teach your kids to beat the shit out of each other when they're young. Because then shit like this is much less likely to happen. At least in my opinion. Let's see. Bria, who I assume are the people who purchased the Come by Chance refinery. Yes, I know, some of the place names in Newfoundland are quite funny. We do, in fact, have a place called Come by Chance. Jimmy Carr himself made some solid hash on an episode of QI of Conception Bay South. And we also have places called... Billy asks if that's a real sport. Well, there's a case to be made either way. But personally, anything that gets a woman bending over screaming, "Hurry hard," I'm okay with it. I'm getting an interesting look from Stormy across the room. Let me see. Anyway, yeah, some of the place names in Newfoundland are quite entertaining. For example, I'll just do a quick search. We have some very interesting ones. Of course, some fairly simple ones, and not unexpected ones like Little Heart's Ease, Paradise. Go for it, Billy. Just the only thing I request is that you don't use language that would cause YouTube to go, "Oh, what's he doing?" But yeah, the weirder, the wackier, the better. Let me see. So we have places like Battle Harbor, because of our French and other nationalities have essentially controlled Newfoundland at one point or another. Labrador is actually not a French word for the golden arm. It's in fact from Portuguese for a farm worker. I don't know why. I don't think you could farm anything in Labrador. But we also have places like Bell Island, Bay Roberts. Let me just see if I can find a good set of... Okay, no, that's not the article I'm looking for. Here we are. And now, brace yourselves, this is not sexual in nature. There is, in fact, a place called Dildo in Newfoundland. For those of you who don't know, and who happen potentially to be familiar with older-style rowboats, you will see occasionally a wooden peg used on either side of the oar to retain it in position, and those pegs are actually called dildos. That was the original name of those pegs, and it was also, as far as I can understand, the origination of the term dildo for a marital device. But we do also have a place called Dildo Run. Stephen Barnes. I may very well have gone to school with this fellow. But, oh, sorry. I just realized I didn't have the article back on screen. Still boomerang. Never gonna change. Maureen says we have a place called Sex Birum here. It literally translates to sex beer them. That is gorgeous. So anyway, we have places called Dildo. We have a place called Southeast Bite, spelled B-I-G-H-T. Just having a quick flick through. A place that I've been, Joe Bat's Arm, which gorgeous little place on Fogo Island. We have, of course, a lot of religious related names. Mary's Town. What else? St. Patrick's, St. David's, St. Boniface, St. Brendan's. Yeah, there's a lot of French names. Excuse me. There's a lot of French names. There's Spanish and Portuguese, of course, Bonavista. But the French is fairly strong in the area that I'm from. There was a town, one of the towns in... Don't forget Come By Chance. I actually did already mention Come By Chance. Let me see. Billy Blogs. If a girlfriend asks to peg you, is it your fault, and what should you do if it happens? Refuse, dump, or what? Does getting pegged indicate you are gay? So this is going to be my version of Count Dankula's Are Traps Gay? Okay. Let's see. I'll take it in order. If a girlfriend asks to peg you, is it your fault? Yes. Because you are clearly not man enough to have a girlfriend. What should you do if it happens? Well, you are left with a couple of choices, like you said, refuse, dump, or what. My personal position would be to immediately refuse. If the issue is pushed, then it is a case of dump. However, I would also make the offer of, well, only if I can do it to you first. But it depends on the girl. Does getting pegged indicate you are gay? It's definitely gay adjacent. Okay, so back to this article. Stormy's having a good giggle in the corner. I'll have to go gag that woman later. For totally unrelated reasons, of course. And yeah, they do. Here we are. Back in the 17th, 18th centuries, the word dildo referred to any cylindrical object. I dispute a lot of the Newfoundland etymology that's done, because, yeah, it is believed that the cylindrical object in this case referred to the pin on a rowboat used to attach the oar, also known as the thole pin. In spite of its innocent origin, the name can still elicit a giggle or a gasp from someone hearing of the place for the first time. Stormy is currently giggling. So, yes, it doesn't even have to be the first time. Let me see. Here's another great one. Blow Me Down. And there's your French influence again, Portagrave. Blow Me Down is a small fishing community. And yeah, one of the things Newfoundlanders are known for is reusing names. So Blow Me Down is quite common. There are several little harbors. There's a Little Harbor East, Little Harbor West. I believe there's a Little Harbor North, and I think there's also a straight up Little Harbor, which is probably somewhere in the northeast. We have places called Trinity, I think I may have mentioned. We have... Billy asks if he should slap her. I would not have gone with slapping. That's, someone offers to do something sexual to you. I don't think slapping them is the proper response. Unless they offer to hold still while you spank them. That's a different story. And let's see. Billy also says he never even thought of the first option. I'm kinkier than he thought. Hey man, I'm old, not dead. And the really good thing about that is, well, it's kind of hard to tell. Of course, most of my hair is going transparent rather than silver, but I'm getting a significant amount of silver in my ginger these days, so I'm getting salt and ginger. Okay, yeah. Billy is asking if it's too much because Based Ape said, Billy, what have you done? I'm sorry, if the monkey thinks you've gone too far. Just to flick back down, Redhead Cove, more likely than not, doesn't refer to a redheaded person. More likely refers to, we have a lot of iron ore in the rocks here, so it's probably that the head of the harbor has a lot of red rock in it. Passage Harbor. Oh god, Come By Chance was originally called Passage Harbor. Let's leave that alone. Originally called Passage Harbor, the area was later referred to in a 1706 dispatch by Major Lloyd concerning a battle between the English and French as Come By Chance. It appears that the Major had mistakenly referred to the place by the name of the river that flows through it, Come By Chance. In any event, the name stuck, and the community has been known as Come By Chance ever since. It is not known exactly how the river originally got its name, but it would probably be safe to assume that it was because someone had come upon it by chance. Generally. Yes, we do have places called Witless Bay and Fairyland. Not that kind of fairy. I'm not exactly sure of the etymology of Trepassey either. I don't know where that came from. Let's see here. Cowhead. Cowhead is actually fairly close to where I'm from. We also have Bull Arm. And another place called Bellorum, which they may be bastardizations. Bull Arm may be a bastardization of Bellorum. Bellorum is... Would you say it was French?
Bellorum,
yeah, probably. Because the first 5 letters are the French word for pretty, belle. Let's see. Sasquatch has popped in. Hi, Sasquatch. He says he'll be right back. He's got to walk his moose. Give Moose a pat on the head and tell him he's a good boy for me. Let's see. Marcin Johansson. I call that look the firefighter chief. Let's see. Cowhead was originally dubbed Cape Point by the famous French explorer Jacques Cartier. It was later named Tête de Vache, which means head of a cow, because of a large rock on the shoreline that, when viewed from the sea, looks like the head of a cow. Interesting. And, of course, place names occasionally are also navigational aids. Let's see. Bonavista, Trinity. Oh, come on. Are you seriously telling me you don't know how Trinity got its name? It was named by a religious person, obviously. The most romantic story from this school of thought is that the Portuguese explorer Gaspar de Corte Real gave the place its name after sailing into the harbor on Trinity Sunday, 1501. This seems quite unlikely, as the town appears on early Portuguese maps as Baía de São Ciria. Sorry, I said that in French. It should be, I don't know how to put a Portuguese accent on it, so we'll just go with Baía de São Ciria. Though it is probable that the name is of a religious origin, it is more likely English than Portuguese. Let's see. Vinland says Promethean Hails. Yes, I did see you earlier, my friend. I'm guessing you just popped back. Stormy says hello to Sasquatch. Had to take a break for a bit of water there. I'm going to pace myself today and try not to out-talk my throat. Quiet you! Trinity. Kitty Vitty. Kitty Vitty actually has a bit of a funny thing. Some people there will call it Kaida Vida. Some will call it Quiddy Vitty. I've even heard one older fellow refer to it as Kita Vida. Or Vida. Kita Vida. And to be honest, nobody is quite sure where that name came from, which is indicated in this article. One theory suggests that it comes from the popular French surname Quidville. Another says that it is derived from the Latin que divide, which means that which divides, which would make sense. It's essentially a very small-scale fjord that comes off of the ocean and continues onto the land. Third and most colorful theory purports that the name comes from a madam named Kitty Vitty, who operated a house of ill repute in the area. Whatever the origin of the name, the place is a must-go destination for any visitor. At that point, I will point out it is very much a tourist trap area. It's beautiful. If you want to go and take some pictures, walk around a little bit, absolutely. Be prepared for it to be cold. The wind generally howls off the North Atlantic and doesn't bring any warmth with it. But it is a touristy place. Most of St. John's around the water is very touristy anyway. Let's see. And as you can see, it is a beautiful little place. No, here we are. Here's some other names. Angel's Cove, Butter Cove, Bay Bulls, Black Duck. There is also a Black Duck Brook, Cupid's, Deadman's Bay, Foxtrap, Comfort Cove, Bear Need. I'm guessing this one was probably named by someone who was stuck in a storm and had a bare need to get ashore. Heart's Delight, as I mentioned earlier, Little Heart's Ease, Heart's Content, Heart's Desire. This one has probably been renamed. Originally it would have been Indian Burying Place, but it's probably something else now for the sake of political correctness. Push Through, Random Island, Plum Point, Lady Cove, Jerry's Nose. We will probably never know what happened to Jerry's Nose. But Tickle Cove, let's see. Argyris, one of these days I'll get that name right. Just give me a second here. Argyriaspidae, Seleucid. Seleucid Argyriaspidae pops in, and hail. Billy. No, wait, sorry. Down a little further. Let's see. Marcin Johansson. I'd ask the author of the writing, where are they getting this information from? More often than not, this sort of information comes from tales people tell. Newfoundlanders are very, very accomplished storytellers. Part of the reason that I'm so comfortable in front of the camera. But the generally a lot of what happens is a lot of theorization happens, and then it is just picked up and assumed to be acceptable common knowledge, or accepted common knowledge. Sorry, I've got a bit of a scale on my eye. Let's see. Kingdom of Inland asks, would you consider moving to Mars if it was terraformed? Yes. Yes, I would. I'd be lighter on Mars. Billy, is the French influence why Canada is going commie? No, I really don't think so. I think it's definitely a European influence, but I don't think you could blame it on the French Canadians, because a lot of the people who came to Canada from France originally were monarchists. So these are generally very traditional, very conservative people, or as Trudeau has referred to them, old stock Canadians, or racists. Kiza asks, if I could only own 5 cars, what would they be and why? PT Cruiser, no, just kidding. One of them would be a PT Cruiser, and I'm already getting the dirty look from Stormy. She hates that car. I would have a PT Cruiser. I would have to have something capable of pulling heavy weight for my work. So probably a large truck, full-size pickup. I definitely have a Hilux. Stormy is whispering Dodge Ram over there. But the problem that Stormy doesn't realize is Dodges are no longer made by the Americans. They're made by the Italians now.
Your point, they're still a nice car.
Garbage.
Like, come on.
No. No, if I'm going to get something made by an Italian, it's going to be a Lamborghini. I mean, we're fantasizing here. Let's fantasize. Thank you. Let's see. So let's see. PT Cruiser, truck, Lamborghini. I would have my fantasy car, which is a 75, 76 Stingray Corvette, in that color of the color they're using on tobacco products now as the ugliest color in the world, done metallic. That old school metallic brown, I absolutely love that color. And I'd have to have something like a Porsche, something or a Lotus, something that is fast accelerating, very agile on the road, because we have a lot of twisty roads here in Newfoundland. Let's see. I think I got 5, didn't I? Yeah, okay. Marcin Johansson, Kitty Vitty, good way to split marriages up if the colorful theory holds. Yeah. If I recall correctly, there's a song by Toby Keith that mentions I don't remember the show. I think it was called Gunsmoke, which had Marshall Dillon and Miss Kitty running a bordello. So Miss Kitty seems to be a very common name for ladies of the night and their employers. Let's see. Supreme Emperor Kiza says, I blame China, Billy, but Marxism is German, so yeah. Billy blogs, Tickle Cove, you have a lot of suspect place names over there. Yes, but a tickle is also another word for an opening in a bay. Marcin Johansson, these are names that I bet sound nice in other languages, but as soon as you read these, you realize that explorers of the past were looking for fortune. Ironically, the next town over is called Fortune. Total Blackout pops in. Aloha, folks. Grats on 200 again. Thank you very much, Blackout. Aloha to you too, sir. Marcin Johansson, storytelling is the best lore. It stays with families for generations upon generations. Not just families, it stays in communities. When I was a young kid here in rural Newfoundland, I was able to go to the oldest person in the harbor, generally a woman, because, well, life in rural Newfoundland is not exactly easy, especially on the men. But it would not be difficult for me to engage one of the older ladies in conversation and ask her to tell me any random story, or just sit down for a cup of tea and let them ramble. And you pick up all kinds of amazing stuff. Let's see. Argeria Spy Day says his break ends in a bit, so I'll hang on till then. Okay, thank you. Total Blackout Painting says, is the way. Kiza does agree, they're owned by the Italians. Maureen, what would you do if you came home one day and there was a dead body in your workshop? Wonder how I was so bad at storage. No, just kidding. The very first thing I'd do would probably be call the cops. Because I'm fairly certain I wouldn't store dead bodies in my workshop. And I would be wondering, there'd be a lot of context required there. For instance, the first thing I'm going to wonder is, okay, how old is this person? What they die of? Is there blood everywhere? How'd they get in? No, I would not be. Stormy apparently would immediately ask if she was full of blood. I'm starting to get scared, folks. Let's see. Oh, Kiza reminds me that Lamborghini is German since 1998. Yeah, was it Volkswagen or the same parent company purchased Lamborghini? In which case, probably better. Truth be told, I'd probably have a Mercedes-Benz instead of a Lamborghini. Let's see. Vinland asks, what do I think of the Cybertruck? Also, I didn't know Rams were more made by the Italians. Yeah, as Kiza said, the company is technically owned by Italians. I said made by Italians. Probably not technically right. For all I know, these things are built in Mexico now. As for the Cybertruck, dear God, that thing is ugly.
You like the PT Cruiser?
Yeah, I do like the PT.
With you?
What are you talking about? Okay, you were given no. Let me ask you this: you were offered a choice between a Cybertruck and a PT Cruiser. Which do you take?
I'll take the Cybertruck because I hate the PT.
Get out! We can't be friends anymore. Solicit asks, what are the flags behind you? This one is the Texas flag, and this one is the Newfoundland provincial flag. And being a trans Texan, that's part of the reason they're there. I want to go from Newfoundland to Texas. But also, there is a similarity in both of those jurisdictions, given that they both used to be their own countries and are now part of larger countries, which debatably worked out well for them. Let's see. Blackout, is the WEF worse than China in your opinion? What's a greater threat to our freedom? Oh, definitely the WEF. China hasn't infiltrated our friggin' parliament. Copper. Marcin Johansson's asking about the color. No, let me see. Tobacco products, brown, ugliest color in world. I believe this was actually created by, it's Pantone 448C. Let me see if I can get that brought up here. Now, that is in fact an ugly color. I will grant you. However, I think if you put a metallic tone to it, it looks very nice. Let me just see if I can find Pantone 448C metallic. Okay, no, I'm having a bit of trouble with that. But this color, Pantone 448C, is supposed to be the ugliest color in the world. Personally, I don't think it's that ugly. I think if you could put a clear coat over it at the very least, give it a bit of shine, and put it in the sunlight, it would look great. A little bit of bronze flake to it, maybe even. But anyway, I digress. No, it would not be called copper, Marson, because copper is a very different color, which I can illustrate rather quickly. Okay. And actually, my beard tends to turn essentially copper in the sun. But this is more copper. It's yeah, you're right. It is midway between orange and brown, though it is much more a metallic orange color. Let's see. Flags, the WEF, copper. Based Ape asks, if the universe is so big, why won't it fight me? Because it's scared, monkey. Why else? That's why it won't fight me. Stormy responding to Maureen, I would freak out. What would you do if you came home one day? Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't freak out. I would immediately go into crisis management mode and literally call the cops, check their vitals. Now, if we're assuming they're already dead, obviously, then there's not much I can do for them. But if they aren't actually dead, I'll do what I can. CPR, first aid, whatever. But yeah, I'd immediately call the police and probably an ambulance. Let's see. Marson says one of those looks like the state flag of Texas. It in fact is. Dude, old ladies, where are we here? Dodges. Okay, Blackout says, dude, old ladies will talk no matter where you are. This is true. Audi bought them. Okay. Audis are actually kind of nice cars, too. Prime Knight, hello, I'm back from being battered black and blue at the Booherd training camp. Oh, congratulations. Do you feel manly and sore? Maureen Peters asks, what is the most embarrassing thing I own but would never get rid of? Never really embarrassed by anything that I own. Because I own it because I love it. Stormy's pointing at herself. No, honey, you're not embarrassing. Most of the time. Gee, I don't know. Oh, I suppose well, some of my comic book memorabilia, I suppose you could call embarrassing. For instance, you can't see it on camera. Let me see if I can turn the camera just enough so you can see it. There. This is actually a tiny little Aquaman figurine, which I've got strung on a bunch of different memorabilia from over the years. But I wouldn't say I was embarrassed by it either. It is just a little toy out of a Kinder Surprise, but Aquaman's one of my... The comic book version of Aquaman is one of my favorite characters. Let's see. Marku pops in. Hi, Marku. Earlier than usual. No, I'm not. I'm actually dead on time. Believe it or not, it's the time change here. We actually got bumped an hour ahead here in North America, possibly the entirety of the New World. I don't know for sure. I suspect. But, just a second, I have to get another bit of water. Been talking too much? It's kind of what I'm doing here. And I'm getting the finger. Excellent. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's the time change has happened last night, Marco. Sasquatch is getting a conversion van. Is it a van that converts into a guy that just walks around? Or no? I know what you mean. Yeah, camper vans are awesome. Kizza said he thinks Dodges are built in Canada, so they're actually Canadian. Dodges may be built in Canada, but the problem is now that Ram and Dodge have been separated as brand marks. So I don't know that the Ram is necessarily built in Canada still. Marson Johansson. By the way, give me a heads up if it's a hard J or a soft J. If it's Johansson or Johansson. Or Johansson. Says Cybertruck is also a vaporware product. Tell me who owns a Cybertruck besides Elon/Tesla. Yeah, I don't imagine there's a lot of Cybertrucks on the road anyway. Marcin Johansson says, at least the PT Cruiser made it to market. Ha! Eat it!
Go down lower, see the rest.
Yeah, I'll get there. Let's see. Stormy says there are 9 watching, only 3 likes. Hit that like button. Yeah, please do like, share, subscribe. If you've got a question you want to ask that you're embarrassed to ask in chat, my email is available. It's ardentparty@gmail.com, which reminds me I need to open that. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. I've got one question anyway. I will get to that just a second. Let me finish with chat here. Prime Knight tips his fedora and says, "Hail, Lady Stormy." Let's see. Prime Knight says the PT Cruiser was a mistake. Up yours, Swede.
Thank you.
I honestly, you have to realize the reason that I like the PT Cruiser so much is because everything right before it was released was so very boxy. Even the sports cars, things like the, oh my, what was that? LeBaron. The LeBaron that Chrysler put out, which was a beautiful car, but still extremely angular. Almost everything up to that point, 80s into the early 90s, was very angular and very boxy, and it was just not attractive. Right before the PT Cruiser came out, the Aztec came out. And I even like the Aztec, as angular and ugly as that thing was, because at least it was different. And that's one of the reasons I really like the PT Cruiser. Plus the fact that it's got that nice curvature, and it's got some of that Art Deco feel from years gone by, which is part of the reason they designed it the way they did. Let's see. Kingdom says he's legally not allowed to drive, but if I could, I'd want a Cybertruck. Oh, God. Stormy agrees with Prime Knight. Yeah, I'll punish you for that later. Billy blogs, Porsche and Lotus, good choices for escaping police on twisting country roads. My bro has a Lancia Delta Integrale HF Turbo. Oh, those are nice. Scary fast and nimble. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to have to... Marcin Johansson. Oh, yeah, the shiny metallic sheen would be excellent. Sparkle, sparkle. Yep. Solicid says he's something of a Trans-Texan myself. Yeah, I think the Trans-Texan movement is going to take off rather rapidly. We'll see if the government of Texas is willing to encourage our identity. Let's see. Kizza says that shade of brown screams Oldsmobile. I would absolutely agree. I would think something like, it reminds me of like the old Acadias and things like that as well. Chevy, Oldsmobile. Let's see, brownish, yeah. Total blackout. I helped a buddy swap his engine in his PT Cruiser. Fuck that shit to the moon. I am under the impression that they were terribly, terribly engineered. Monkey says green is the ugliest color. How dare you? Green is a beautiful color, and more people have green as their favorite color than any other color on the planet. I am a big fan of green grass. Not so much a fan of green sky. If you see green sky, run. That's generally a tornado warning. And Solicit is off. Bye, Solicit. I've probably missed you by this time. Piece of shit cruiser. Stormy says, yes, total blackout painting, total piece of shit cruiser. Blackout says a copper beard will eventually turn white. Yeah, I'm actually getting some, not even silver, you're right, it is straight to white in my mustache, so. Kingdom asks if I could, would I want my own plane? Assuming that I'm flying it, yes. It would probably be something fairly small and fast, like a Lear or something like that. And I mean, more likely than not, I'd use it as a means of making money. Maureen says she thinks her parents had a couch in that color. Pretty sure she puked on it once. Sasquatch says he has an Alf lunchbox. That is cool. Marcin Johansson says I'd take a Packard for fun. And yeah, some of those curves of the old Packards are kind of reminiscent, or the Cruiser is somewhat reminiscent of the old Packards. And Cords too, if I recall correctly. Prime Knight says he did a longsword duel for the first time with soft gear. Guy booped my head good enough to make it ring my ears. Ooh. If you have a headache or nausea that continues for more than an hour, consider that you may have a concussion. And trust me, having been a pro wrestler for a little while, concussions are no fun. And nothing to mess with. Kingdom of Vinland to Marcin Johansson. The reason people besides Musk and Tesla don't have Cybertrucks yet is because it hasn't been released to the market yet. Yeah, I wonder why. And Prime Knight says, yes, he feels very manly and humbled. Excellent. Billy Blogs, why is it so common for adult YouTubers to stream from rooms full of kids' toys? Well, it depends on the focus of the YouTuber. Like for me, I just happen to have it just for colorful background. I did want to have an empty background. Plus, I have a bit of a cluttered mind, so it's not a bad idea to have a bit of a cluttered desk in the background. Guys like Gary from Nerdrotic, these are guys who are deeply into the comic book and pop culture stuff, and it's a quick identifier for someone who just happens to flick onto the channel and isn't really listening to the conversation, or pops in a point where the conversation kind of is vague. They can just look at the background and go, okay, this guy's into comic books or whatever. For example, one of the things I initially thought about putting behind me was a Blade Runner portrait that I have, which was done by, I can't remember the artist's name now, but it's an interpretation of the Tears and Rain scene, and it's an absolutely beautiful picture. And I think when I eventually renovate my studio, I'm going to try to have that picture behind me, because, yeah, it's just a beautiful picture. I think I've posted it either to my Twitter or... Yeah, it might be on my Twitter. If it's not, let me know and I'll go and throw it up. Actually, I'll probably just post it later. Let's see. Soft J says Marcin Johansson. Okay. Billy, wait, did that guy allegedly run over the fat Antifa woman with a Dodge and not a Ram? Both are kind of funny given the incident. Yes. Kiza asks, would I like to hear the sound of my people? I'm pretty sure the sound of your people is something with 12 cylinders. Or 10 rather. No, 10, 12, I'm not sure. Prime Knight says many have their PC in the man space or game room, responding to Billy. Also true. In my case, it happens to be my studio / bedroom. The PT Cruiser celebration makes sense. God damn it. Prime Knight says Boxy is great. Volvo 240 supremacy. Yeah, now don't get me wrong. When it comes to certain cars, the Volvos, for whatever reason, Boxy works for a Volvo. It does not work for a Dodge Reliant, or for a Dodge Aries or a Chrysler Reliant from like 87. Those are ugly cars. Let's see. Cybertruck looks cool, says Kingdom of Vinland. I disagree. Blackout says, you Swedes and you freaking Volvos. Marcin Johansson, that hashtag, that piece of shit? Damn, if curves can sway the market in a sea of angles, let calculus make a comeback. Kiz is wondering who's got that Delta Integrale. Maureen, if you could lead one army, historical or modern, which one would you choose? This is going to sound really, really weird, but I would choose to lead the Newfoundlanders over the top at Beaumont Hamel when they were completely slaughtered in the First World War. If I could do it knowing what I know now, we wouldn't go. We'd shoot the British officers giving us the orders and go, no, fuck you, idiots. Let's see. Maureen, lies ardent. Blue is the most popular color because it is lovely. I've seen arguments to both sides, so. Sasquatch, the only PT Cruiser I know of is actually a chopped F-150 with a cruiser body. Oh my god. That sounds interesting. Billy, do you like those old US cars with the tail fins, quite rounded? Oh god, what were those? Those were like the Chrysler 200s and stuff like that, way back in the day. I'm not a huge fan of the fins, but if I was going to have a car from that era, I would, like the Bel Airs and stuff like that, you'd have to have the fins, just to maintain the meme, if nothing else. Stormy says her favorite color is blue. She's actually wearing blue today, though I think she'll argue with me that it's green. No?
It's bluish green.
Okay, fair enough. Turquoise. Let's see. DXDY, baby. I'm not sure what that one means. Maybe a Piper Cub. No, I'd want something bigger than a Piper Cub, and I would definitely want a jet rather than a prop plane. Marson asked me if I've seen regular car reviews for the Ford Centurion. Ford Centurion. No, and I will actually have a look at a Ford Centurion. As far as screwed up trucks go, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Jeep Gladiator, but it's really weird the first time you see it. Also now, Santa Cruz, that's a Hyundai, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Hyundai now is producing the Santa Cruz, which is kind of a ute sort of design.
Yeah, but that's a nice truck.
Is it a truck though?
It's a truck and
It's
SUV.
it's kind of more of
nice.
it's more of an SUV with an open bed.
It's a transformer. Let's see if you're from
It's not a Transformer.
Transformer.
Okay, so the Ford Centurion. That's a long boy. I'll just throw that up on the screen here for you guys. That definitely looks like a long boy, unless these are customs. It's very interesting. Let's see here. Billy Takiza, my older brother. Classic car insurance, which is cheaper, and I think he pays less road tax as well. Yeah, I do believe... Let me just bring that back up. I do believe in... most places here in Newfoundland as well, classic car insurance is significantly lower. Generally because people who drive them are very careful and they don't get in a lot of accidents. Monkey asks, why is anime gay? I don't think it's necessarily gay, but weebery is questionable at best. Marson Johansson, in Pennsylvania, the historic or antique car plate also limits the number of miles your car can be on the road as well. Yeah, for insurance purposes, it would. Kingdom asks me, when I move to Texas, what guns would I want to get? It's pretty obvious. I've talked about it before. The very first thing I would want is an Inglis high power. Kizza's telling me to check my Discord DMs. Just 1 second. Okay. Cybertruck looks like a domesticated warthog from Halo. It does, actually, now that you think about it. And come to think of it, if you actually kind of strip it down and put a warthog body on it, I'd buy it. Monkey, it is not, but it sounds like you always pick the gay anime to watch for some reason. Yeah, Kizza mentions a Cadillac Eldorado, 59 and hot pink. Yeah, if you're going to maintain the meme, maintain it as hard as you possibly can. Prime Knight says he's off. He's got gear, laundry, and bruises to tend to. Shadilay, amigo. 16 valve as far... Okay, this is Billy talking about the Integrale. To Kizza, it's 16 valves as far as I remember. I think it has 2 turbos. Takes me out for a burn occasionally. Pins you to the back of the seat when accelerating. Yeah. I've seen Integrales go past me at about 200 kilometers. Very, very nice to watch. Billy Blogs asks if it's gears and drugs. No, Billy, we're not all Scottish heroin junkies. Kingdom of Inland says, whilst still a prop plane, maybe a de Havilland Beaver would be better. Beaver is always better. Monkey asks, what is your favorite Linux distro and why is it Mac OS? PC Master Race, Monkey. I swear I just heard a re somewhere. Billy Blogs. Kiz, I'll have to ask him. Okay. Marson Johansson says OpenBSD, which I assume is some sort of weird Apple cult thing. Kingdom of Inland says he can see the Warthog comparison to the Cybertruck, but not exactly the domesticated part. In Halo, there are civilian Warthogs. Maureen Peters asks, if I could eat only one dish for the rest of my life, what would it be? Macaroni and cheese and bacon. Stormy disagrees. What would you eat if it was the only dish you could eat for the rest of your life? The only thing you could eat for the rest of your life. Every meal.
Steak and eggs.
I could see it. Yeah. Steak and eggs, she says. Mushrooms and Swiss on your steak?
Damn right.
Okay. Then we can. Okay, I forgive you for the PT Cruiser thing.
Never gonna win that argument. Anyway,
Let's see. Marku says he wants a Chevy El Camino and turned into an off-roader. I've seen some jacked up El Caminos. I've seen monster trucked El Caminos, which are kind of insane. But yeah, I do like the El Camino. Kizza says he thinks I should play the video he sent me. I will in just a moment, Kizza. The answer to the PC versus console argument. Oh no, this isn't PC versus console. I'm absolutely a console peasant when it comes to gaming. When it's PC versus Apple, I'm PC all the way. Parallel Twin Turbo says Promethean. A Toyota Hilux. Yeah, I definitely have to have a Hilux. Favorite dessert, strawberry cheesecake. Billy is asking me questions that could potentially get me yeeted from YouTube. I'll come back to those in just a minute. Kizza over on Discord. Ooh. Okay, yeah, let me turn on my my sound here. Desktop audio is active. Okay, close. And let me see if I can get that full screen before I play it. Okay, I'm going to have to stop that there, because if I don't, I'm going to be looking at a potential copyright strike. But thank you very much for that, Kizza. Thank you for playing the song of your people. Let's see here. Billy asks about bald beaver. I don't like bald beaver. There should be some indication of the completion of puberty. You know, for one's own sanity, if nothing else. Maureen asks, if I murdered someone, how would I get rid of the body? I'm not telling all my secrets. No. Sasquatch says he has a 69 SS Camino clone for sale. Well, no. Somebody did ask me about guns, and I never did get back. Oh, yeah, no, I did talk about the guns. But just to more fully flesh that answer out, I would absolutely have an English high power for the antique factor. I would probably get the new FN high power as well, because even though it's in 9mm, because I'd have one for killing the body, one for killing the soul. Rifle-wise, I'd want something fairly generic, I think. I don't know. I'm not really a big gun guy. This is part of the reason I want to do the gun stream with Bleach and Bezic, because those guys know way more about guns than I do. At this point, you know, given my choice of guns, I would probably collect antique handguns like the English High Power, the Whitney Wolverine, because I absolutely love the way those guns look. Things like that. Now, if I could get a Whitney Wolverine in 45, that'd be my daily carry. Let's see. Marku and Kingdom both point out Marku responds to Kingdom, the technical meme with the Hilux. Let's see. Do I have a plan for the zombie apocalypse? I actually do, and it involves one of these. If I can get that image up. And of course, they're sold out again. Go back. There we are. So this one here. That is a Viking wood-splitting sword. Now, being that I'm a big fan of cutting wood by hand anyway, I would absolutely love to have one of these. But that's definitely one good choice for the zombie apocalypse. Let's see. there's more. Oh, Kizza says he sent more. Oh, Kizza says to click on the second video he sent me. Give me just 1 second. Should be able just to click back to that, I think. No, okay. Okay, give me just a moment there, Kizza, and I'll pop back to that. Vajazzle, yay or nay? Definitely nay. I don't like clicking my teeth off of stones. If merkins come back into fashion, I'm going to have a problem with that, too. Let's see. The second video Kizza sent me will scare any Democrat in the neighborhood. This should be entertaining. Ooh. Let's bring that up. Oh, I do like that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a Corvette for sure. And again, I will note that the risk of copyright strike is still very much real, so take no chances. Let's see here. Second video, Vajazzle. Promethean Healing says he wants a 4-door 68 or 69 Malibu Fastback. A 4-door Malibu? That's interesting. Let me have a look for that. And I do have a couple of questions in my email, I think. Just the one, okay. Oh God, no. No, no. Ew. No, what's wrong with you? No.
Better to the PT Cruiser.
The hell it is. Just for that, I'm gonna bruise all of your eyes. There we go. Enjoy. I'll let that linger on screen for a bit now when I bring it back up. Yeah. And just to understate why I actually punished everybody's eyes, let's go back to what I was looking at, which is this thing. Really? No. Absolutely not. No. Let's see. Talked about the car. Now, all the extra gear you'd want to put on it, yeah, absolutely, but not, oh God, not that body style. Billy, Kizza is sending me videos on Discord, though I'm going to try to avoid jumping back and forth to Discord. It puts a hell of a load on my computer. It's just a tiny little laptop that can't really handle a lot. Let's see. Marku, Killing the Soul, you mean 45? High powers are only made in 9mm and 40. The original English, sorry, you're right. 40 caliber is what the original high powers were made in. The new ones are only made in 9mm. Marcin Johansson, after Yala, what other legends or stories do you plan on exploring? Well, Yala's full story came out last week. This week I will be doing a Teddy Roosevelt. Oh, I should probably put my face back on screen now. Oh, before I do that, though, I do need to punish everybody with the cruiser, don't I?
Gorgeous.
The cruiser? Yeah, I know.
Not the cruiser. That piece of shit should just get buried.
Really? Why? I think they're gorgeous. I want two. I want two.
Well, you can have them. Stack them on top of each other.
To be fair, I want two because I want one that's just baseline, flat out, run around every day. But I want another that's customized as a 2-door hardtop. Because they never made a 2-door hardtop. And I think they missed the trick there. Now, let me kill that. And come back to chat. Let's see. Yeah, Marson. Yeah, I'll be doing a speech by Teddy Roosevelt this week, and then next week I will start the next of Cass's Driftwood stories, Driftwood People stories, which is Tegla's story. After that, I don't know exactly what I'll be doing. I may end up switching from Wordsmith Wednesday to Woodworking Wednesday, because the weather is getting nicer here, and I have a couple of new tools that I want to set up and use, so I don't know yet. Let's see here. Oh, that did jump on me, didn't it? State songs. Okay. Kingdom of Inland asks, when it comes to state songs, basically state national anthems, he thinks the best is Alaska's, called Alaska's Flag. Give it a listen. I have given it a listen. I did like it. Personally, and it's, I suppose, a bit of jurisdictional patriotism in my case, but I think the Ode to Newfoundland is the most beautiful provincial national anthem ever created, and it was originally a national anthem. But, you know, if it's not, keep your rifle by your side. Let's see. Stormy says she's getting me one when I reach 400 subs. So, guys, let's help him. What, a PT Cruiser?
No, fuck no.
Oh, one of the swords.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Surely for my entertainment now.
C6s, C5s. Yeah, I like the old school Corvettes from the 70s. That gorgeous curve. Just, I don't know. Without using sexual language, it turns me on and it arouses me. Let's see. Billy Blogs. Buy an old armored truck or van and put a cattle plow on the front. Yeah, cow pusher, yeah. Or a cow catcher, they call it, on the front for the apocalypse. Zombies are nonsense. Dead, decaying bodies cannot move. True. What would my perfect holiday look like? Oof. I'd have to go somewhere with a certain level of romantic appeal, because I'd have to take Stormy with me. Because I wouldn't want to go anywhere without Stormy at this point. I'd also want to go somewhere where I could engage in or indulge in my love of, hand-to-hand combat weaponry. So I'd like to go to London to visit the Tower Museum. The Louvre in Paris is still one of those beautiful places, though I wouldn't stay in Paris. Paris is a shithole, hon. I do. I don't want to have to defend you from a roving gang of, well, we won't, Asians. Yeah. Let's see. Earl says, Hail Ardent. Hi, Earl. Testicles. Sasquatch says, get me a Pinto. Oh, God. Sasquatch wants a Pinto.
A Pinto?
Yes. Do you know what a Pinto is? Not the horse.
Obviously not. I think I do.
Yeah, you go ahead and look up the Pinto. When you're done with that, I'll recommend a Fiero. But to be fair, I don't mind the look of the Pinto. It's just the other problems it had that I didn't appreciate. And yes, Billy, I am on Discord. That also should be in the description. Based Monkey asks if I'm ticklish. If so, get him, Stormy. Get that man. You stay over there. I'm not the only one that's ticklish in this room.
Oh yeah.
And I have upper body strength. Can it chuck a skid? The PT Cruiser? Probably not. Do I like the Jensen Interceptor? That would be the Mad Max vehicle. Yes, I did actually like the Jensen Interceptor. Yeah, Pintos were fairly quick. Billy Bloggs asks if you can still buy the Knight Rider car. If I recall correctly, that was just a Camaro. A base Camaro that he just threw a few custom things onto. I'm relatively sure if you do a search for... Actually... Let me just search for Knight Rider Camaro Custom. Ooh, some people have done some updates. And let's put that on screen. Oops. Clicked to the wrong one. That is gorgeous. You guys can't see it properly. Let me just move this over. That is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
But for the old school fans, if I can find one, there we are. Not quite. That's the 90s Firebird done up that way, which also does look quite nice, though it looks significantly more like a Cylon. Let's add the word classic to our search and see what we get. There's the classic one. There we are. So there's your classic Knight Rider Camaro, which it's all blacked out with T-bars, T-tops. How could you not like it? Okay. Oh, wow. We're coming up on the last half hour here. I could really go for a coffee right now. That is, in fact, my subtle way of reminding Stormy that I had asked her if she would make me a coffee about halfway through.
Yes, dear.
Thank you, love. Let's see. Jensen Interceptor, okay. What is worse, burning or freezing to death? Well, there's cases to be made either way. I mean, if the fire is significantly hot enough, it will burn your nerve endings and all you will feel is cold, if it happens quick enough. If you freeze to death, I don't know. Personally, for me, freezing would be far worse, because I absolutely cannot tolerate cold. Well, it's not that I can't tolerate it. It's just, yeah, if I get a chill, it lingers forever. Let's see here. Cursed Cruiser. You can get 2 for $1,000. Kizza says, I want the second PT Cruiser to have the SRT-4 engine, which was a decent powertrain. If I remember right, was the SRT-4 in the Neon? Or am I thinking of an SRT-2? But yeah, that would be very interesting. Marcin Johansson says, ooh, woodwork. Yeah, I've been unable to do woodwork, as I mentioned, because of the cold, for the last 3 months, I think, give or take. But it's beginning to warm up, so... Stormy, don't worry if he moves to Texas and wants to live in the countryside. He's legally required to get a proper truck. Not a problem. Blackout says he had to bounce. Aloha. Thanks for being here, buddy. Earl says I'm going to play with my wood on stream again. Yep. Time for the flautists to gather. Yeah, that's going to be one of the first projects I have to try again, is the flute. As I said, I have a couple of new tools, one of which is a bandsaw. So that may make a difference to how well the flute turns out. I also have a drill press, so between all of that, I should be able to get the flute working this time. Let's see, Kingdom, if he could, he'd love to have a P-51 Mustang or FW-190. I could see that. The Mustang was a nice plane. Monkey says, Flower of Scotland is best national anthem. It's about killing the English. They don't like us singing it. Dude, I'm English descent, and I love the song Come Out You Black and Tans. So, Sasquatch says his Pops has a 79 Stingray. Awesome. 79 Stingray. Oh, yeah, that is a beautiful car. That's basically the body type I'm talking about, too. Yes, I did mean 79 Stingray, thank you. And just to go back to an earlier point, the brown that I was talking about, this color. That is an absolutely beautiful car, in my opinion. You guys may not agree, but that is, in my opinion, absolutely gorgeous. Let's see. C5s were late 90s, early 2000s. C6 were mid to late 2000s. Actually, because I have a question for you. How do you feel about the newest Corvettes not having a manual gearbox? And apparently, according to Earl Testicules, the Flower of Scotland also allows spaces for cursing in the English. Billy wants to get the Keltec P50. I would not want either a Keltec or the P90. I don't particularly like them. And yeah, if you need more than 50 rounds for your pistol, you're in serious trouble. True. Kizza, London, give me early notice and I'll be there. Yeah, this is blue sky at this point. The likelihood of me being able to take a holiday more than a couple of hours away from home is pretty limited. The Gremlin is a nice car. I actually saw an AMC Eagle when I lived in Alberta. The guy had it. I assume he had it lifted on the back and put drag tires on it. It looked like a beast. AMC Pacer, make it do barrel rolls like Roger Moore. Yeah, I saw. Was that Man with the Golden Gun? I think it was, wasn't it? I saw Man with the Golden Gun not too long ago. Let's see. Corvair. Send to Trans Am. Burning sucks. End of statement. Fair. Nerve endings. Yeah. Cannot tolerate cold but lives in Canada. How far north am I? I'm actually further south than most of the rest of Canada here in Newfoundland. Let me see. Just to have a quick look at the latitude of Newfoundland. Let's see if I can get a decent image here. That's not a great map there. Okay, here we are. That's not a bad one. Bring that up. There we go. Okay, I can't actually blow that up any larger. No. So, right here is Newfoundland. And most of Canada is actually above that line. I'm actually below that line. And, yeah. But to be fair, most of the populace lives within this area. The 100 kilometers or so from the border. Popping back here. My honey has returned with coffee and snacks. No cookies for me. I see. I guess I've been bad. Arden gets punished for no cookie. Thank you, love. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Billy, I cannot tolerate cold, but I live in Canada. I don't live in Canada by choice. I'm a first-generation Canadian, and I'm not an immigrant. And neither was my father. Kizza says, yes, it was the Dodge Neon. I've seen the SRT4 Neons. They're gorgeous cars. I suppose that's a fair compromise between the boxy and the curvy. The original Neons was an ugly, ugly piece of crap. Billy said that Corvette looked lovely, but what are suspension and performance like? You can always improve suspension and performance. Body styling is eternal. Well, I know, but Billy says bandsaw. No, bandsaw. What is the weirdest thing I've ever eaten? Let's see. I've quiet you. At this point, I feel it might as well be pointed out that both Stormy and I have 15-year-old child senses of humor. The weirdest thing I've ever eaten. It depends, because some people will find certain dishes in the Newfoundland cuisine odd. Others will go, oh, that's not weird at all. Being that Newfoundland is largely English descent, especially in its cuisine, I mean, it's not uncommon for cod tongues, because we spend so much time fishing. And cod tongues is something of a delicacy. They're very good. Blood pudding. I think the English call it black pudding. Sea urchins. I've actually tried sea urchin. No. No, thank you.
Tell them the name for it here.
Oh, we call them horse eggs. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, chicken hearts and gravy. When I was out in Alberta, I tried prairie oysters. If you don't know what a prairie oyster is, I'll leave you in suspense for a little bit. What else was weird stuff I've had? What else would you figure would be weird to somebody from somewhere else? Oh, fish's peas. You never have fish's peas? The roe out of cod? No? Oh, Dad was a huge fan of that. That's really traditional dish. The spawn from codfish. Yeah. Oh, now you understand. Okay, yeah. We call them fish's peas.
We call them something else.
What do you guys call
Not telling you, not fit for our hair.
them? Okay. Let's see. Kizza says he's not that mad about the new Corvettes, but they'll do what Toyota did and eventually release a manual version. Yeah, there's going to be enough call for it. Sasquatch says he's thinking about getting a Vandora high top. Not a bad choice. Promethean says he doesn't like plastic triggers. I don't think I'd like a plastic trigger either. Based ape, English descent, huh? With a beard that turns copper in the sun and one of the strongest indicators of Scottish descent. Nah, I'm full on Saxon, brother. That's the Anglo-Saxon in me. The Viking. The walking Viking. There is, and we did do a genealogy not too long ago. There's almost no Irish or Scottish in my family. Anywhere. And shame on me for liking a Fenian song. I think it predates the use of the term Fenian, but Fenians probably like it. Yeah, it's an Irish rebel song. If I could get it, would I want a Halo assault rifle? Having been watching Bezic and Trim play Halo the last little while, looking at it, I would say no. But I wouldn't mind one of these, I think. Let me just put this on screen. This is the Halo pistol. And I do quite like the way they look. That's quite an interesting one here. Okay, I'll bring that up so you guys can see which one I'm talking about. So that's the M6C SOCOM Halo Alpha. I'm guessing this is some sort of custom image. I don't know. If it is from the newest games, I haven't seen them. I'm not a huge fan of FPS games. By not huge, I barely ever play them. Let's see. Callum, hey, sorry I can't hang around. Dropped a like in this comment for your stream. Have a good time. Catch you later, Ardent. Oh, thanks for popping in, Callum. Hope you're feeling okay. Lent is a bitch, but at least it does some good. See you around. CD or VK? Okay. Billy asks if we have hedgehogs in Newfoundland. No, we don't. Uh-huh. Stormy says she wishes we had them. We have porcupines. You could cuddle up to one of those. It's about the same, right?
I feel like if you did shave. No.
So there you go. You can cuddle up to me when I don't shave and call me your little hedgehog.
Oh, you're making that too easy. Give it up.
Maureen Peters asks, who is my favorite Disney princess? Leia. What? Disney owns Star Wars. Leia is a princess. Hence, Leia is a Disney princess. Hence, Leia is my favorite Disney princess. I'm sorry. Choked a slug to death with a chain that he tried to enslave her with. Yeah, definitely Leia. Appeals to the masculine like you wouldn't believe. And plus, she looks damn good in that bikini. Gotta get you one of those. I figured that was going to be the response. Let's see. Kingdom of Inland. On the subject of food, I think it would be cool to try stuff from the Elder Scrolls cookbook. The book has several meat recipes, among other things. Possibly. The most dangerous animal in Newfoundland, excluding humans? Fish. Fish are more responsible. People who engage in fishing activities, die more often than people who do anything else. So technically, fish. If you're talking about an animal that you meet in the woods, moose definitely do a lot of damage on the highway.
No, moose in the woods.
Yeah, and a horny, angry moose is terrifying. Yeah, absolutely.
Polar bears up on Northern Peninsula.
Polar bears. We have polar bears in the province. In the area I'm from, I would say a lynx is dangerous in terms of whether it scares me the most. Because, which is kind of dovetailing Maureen's and Billy's questions together. And the reason that a lynx worries me is because those things will attack you from behind. And it's a cat, so it's going to be real quiet. Yeah, Stormy says polar bears and moose. Why is the front end of the Halo pistol so big? I couldn't tell you. Kizza says the pistol was overpowered in Halo 1. Probably why I'm interested in it then, watching Bezic and Trim use it the other day. It does look a little Walther, doesn't it? And, you know, if I ever get to the point that I can collect pistols, I'll definitely have a PPK, just for the meme. I'm a huge Bond fan. Let's see. Unpopular opinion. Kizza. Unpopular opinion, but the C8 Corvette looks like a GTA knockoff Lamborghini Aventador. Images. Oh, somebody said something in chat that I'm going to find interesting. I'll get there. Kizza, you, my friend, are absolutely not wrong. Look at that. That is very much a GTA-looking car. Billy asks, have I ever eaten a hedgehog? Oh, you don't have them. What about porcupine? The cooking method is probably the same or very similar. No, you couldn't convince me to eat a creature that has that sort of defense mechanism. And honestly, I wouldn't eat squirrel for the same reason I wouldn't eat a hedgehog, just not enough meat. I'm in a survival situation, sure, but other than that, no. And Mark, who agrees with Kizza and me as well. Billy asks if we have fish that can eat you, sharks, killer whales. We do have sharks. In fact, I actually ended up swimming with some sharks unknowingly when I was a kid. But these were, I think great whites actually come into our waters as well. But these particular sharks had probably been blown off course. These particular ones that I'm talking about that I swam around have probably been blown off course by a storm or whatever. Marku asks the PBK in 32 or 380. I just watched Kalian Noir's last video about a 380. I'm kind of liking it. It looks like it's really easy to retain the sight picture. Let's see. We don't have fish that can eat us. We do have fish that will attack you, though. Wolf fish, for instance. Maureen asks if I sit down or stand while peeing. It depends on the circumstances. If it's late at night and I don't want to make noise, I'll sit. Otherwise, I will man up and pee like a real man all over the bathroom. No. I go outside and spray for safety. Billy, lynx. I think I could probably wrestle a lynx to death. Not that I would want to try. They aren't very big. No, a bobcat or a lynx is roughly the same size. You're looking at something... What is the average size of a lynx? Average size of a lynx is... they're usually about 33.5 inches long, so about 3 feet, and weigh between 26 and 30 pounds. Females generally smaller. Let's put it this way, Billy. You'd have a far better chance against a lynx than you would against a moose. Let me see. Kingdom of Finland. I'd like to get your opinion on the NA-37 assault rifle from Halo Reach. If it was real, I'd want one. Copy and search. Image. That's giving me distinct Battlestar Galactica vibes. Interestingly, that's an actual gun. A Vesper or something, I think it's called. CX-4 Storm, there you go. But yeah, that last, the MA-37 definitely gives me Battlestar Galactica vibes, and I'm okay with that. I'm a fan of Battlestar. Lynx territorial disputes are wild. Why? Bleach Demon wants to know why Billy's making out with a lynx. I don't know, Bleach. Everybody's got a weird fetish these days. Hi, buddy. Good to see you. Stormy in the corner. Here, kitty. Billy asks if Canada has any nuclear subs. Billy, at one point, There was a mall in Canada that had more active subs than the Canadian Navy. Does Canada have any nuclear weapons? We do, but we're just holding them for the U.S. Let me see here. Okay, let me check my email and see what I've got. Okay, I've only got one question for email. What is your favorite Western movie? The first one that leaps to mind is The Outlaw Josie Wales. But pretty much anything with Clint Eastwood in it, High Plains Drifter, Pale Rider, they're all good. I really did enjoy The Quick and the Dead with Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe. Was it Sharon Stone was in that one? Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah. I like that. Tombstone, absolutely. I mean, come on, who didn't love Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday? It was one of the best performances ever, period. Kingdom was asking if I'd want an MA-37. Possibly. Is that a flamethrower on the undermount? Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think Billy is wrestling the lynx so that he can hear it purr. Quiet you. I'll wrestle you later. There's a Halo Infinite AR. Yeah, it's roughly the same thing. What's this one? Is this... Okay, so this is a bunch of different ones here. I like this one, the MA5K Carbine. That's from Halo Legends. The Halo Infinite one looks good, but I'd want an extended stock and a sniper barrel on that. Because it says he'll be my Huckleberry. Monkey says Scotland versus Ireland game starts in 10 minutes. I'll be out of here in 10 minutes anyway, but you have yourself a good have yourself a good day, Monkey. And no, it's not my birthday or my 200th anniversary.
Damn.
I know I'm old.
Damn.
Explains the gray hair. And the loss of hair. Let's see. Billy said something that Marku was responding to. Let's see here. Does Canada have any nuclear subs? Yeah, most of the world governments are freeloaders. Monkey is clearly settling in Ulster again. Yeah, so what have I got? About 10 minutes left. So break out your really, really wacky questions there, guys, if you've got them. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can find an English high power for something to do. Ah, that was easy. Ta friggin' da. Yeah, the original English high power came much like the Lugers with the detachable wooden holster that can be used as a shoulder stock. King of Vinland says it's a flashlight. As for the MA40 from Infinite, the 40 and 37 were Halo AR variants. That thing was a flashlight? That looked an awful lot like, was it the Essen Flammenwerfer? No, it wasn't the Essen Flammenwerfer. Let me see if I can find this thing. There we are. Einstas. That's what it was. Yeah, the undermount flashlight to me looked an awful lot like one of these. This is an Einstas Flammenwerfer. This was one of the last-ditch weapons. It's also in one of the Battlefield games. But it was one of the Nazis' last-ditch weapons. It's basically, was it a half a second flame? 90 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were watching a short this morning, me and Stormy. And, yeah, the nozzle. If you look at the nozzle there. Oops, stop that. There we go. If you look at the nozzle here, that kind of is reminiscent of what was the undermount on the MA-37. Let's see. Oh, let me just kill that again. Monkey. Marku says I missed his Western stream comment. Oh, sorry, Marku. Oh, when am I going to be doing a Western stream? I haven't actually set up a time to do that, but that's a good thought. Maybe I should do one.
We spoke about this before.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, my new memory. My external hard drive over here. There's that 15-year-old mentality again. Yep. So my lovely assistant Stormy points out that we have in fact talked about a Western stream before. I'm going to have to put it on the list. Things to do.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, Westerns.
And Stormy actually says she has to start on me about that. Earl says he's off to watch the match like monkey. Says, cheers lads, down with Scotland. Kizza, me versus Trudeau in a duel to the death. Do you like Justin's odds? Are you wrestling to exhaustion, or what's the weapon of choice, Kizza? And remember, Trudeau can box. Ish. Bleach asks, should New York be burned, nuked, or made to be filled with its own trash? Yes. Not many Western lovers out there. I think actually Westerns are going to make a big comeback now that the superhero thing is kind of dying and all the wokeness is starting to really infect everything, because it's going to be really difficult to make a woke Western. Let's see. Stormy says Kizza will win hands down. It depends. I mean, the guy is slimy and greasy and could slip out of Kizza's grip.
Throw a bit of sand on him, get a grip.
Throw a bit of sand on him. Pocket sand.
Yeah, pocket sand.
Pocket sand. Bleach says I need to wear a cowboy hat, chaps with extra ass. Technically, I'm currently wearing assed chaps because I have pants on. Quiet you. Let's see. Billy, people were laughing at your ancient Canadian military surveillance plane getting bullied by Chinese jets, especially when they seen inside it, and the 1970s level computers and green VDUs. Yeah, but I don't even slightly blame them. Our stuff is generally trash. Bleach Demon yells, Vienna sausages at 30 paces. That would be absolutely hilarious to see. Did Kizza suggest what his weapon would be? No, he has not yet.
Look at Billy's.
What did Billy say? People were laughing at your ancient Canadian. Yeah.
No, go down. Vienna sausages at 30 paces. Justin will try to...
No, that was Bleach. That wasn't Billy. Oh. I did read that one just now.
Okay, Billy's below it.
There isn't one below it on my screen.
I heard it.
Okay, well, maybe I'm just slower. Okay, so Kizza says the weapon of choice of lightsabers, Duel of the Fates playing in the background. Yeah, Trudeau's got no chance. Kingdom of Finland. Not as hard as you might think, plus, even if it was hard, we both know they would at least try. True. Show me your screen real quick. What's the first three letters? Or first three words?
Justin would try.
Justin would try. I think I saw that one. No. That's weird. Is it hidden?
Not on mine.
That's really weird. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to have to toggle top chat off and on. Or on and off, rather. I was in live chat this whole time.
I'm in live chat, too.
No, I'm not seeing it. That's weird. Sorry about that, Billy. I don't know why that would be doing that. Let me see. Hide user, remove, report, replace, go to channel. Nope. Huh, weird. Let's see. Promethean Healing said he'd like to see Pulp Fiction, Mythopoetics, and folk tales be produced more. Yeah, well, one of the things, it is on all messages, actually. I was on live chat the whole time. I don't know why Billy's message is not there. The last thing I have from Billy, well, I can read them out. Like, Billy said, people were laughing at your ancient Canadian military surveillance plane. The next one I have from Billy is, no, I just said it. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Kingdom says, if I look at the old westerns, you can see anti-whiteism in them as well. I don't necessarily know that. a lot of the old, if you're talking about the way that, say, the natives were treated or blacks were treated, that's going to be more like a historical accuracy than anti-whiteism. Especially if the film was made before the 70s. Or before the 80s, rather. Kizza says he said Justin would try to mountain sodomize me. See, that's probably where the problem is. The word sodomy, or sodomization. A little difficult as I'm a former resident of Suplex City, so think of that way you will. Billy said Justin would try to mountain sodomize you into submission. Yeah, okay. I don't think that's what he would try. Well, he'd try to get you to mount him, more likely. But, anyway. Stormy is reenacting a scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they're traveling, if you know what I mean. Okay, folks, it is 12:30. I absolutely appreciate all of you guys coming in. And before I go, I do want to make absolutely certain that you have all been thoroughly, thoroughly scarred. So I will leave you with, let me see if I can get that to come up. Close that. Oh, that's not working properly. Go away, you. Open in new tab. Close that. And just to make sure you're all good and scarred, there's one last picture of the PT Cruiser.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, so I'll take that off the screen again. Stormy is approaching me for some reason.
Congrats on 200.
Thank you, baby. Anyway, guys, thank you all very much for being here. Bleach, yeah, stupid daylight savings. Marcus says, don't be ridiculous, he'd never cheat on G. No, he'd never cheat on Klaus. G is his dom. Probably the best way to put that, given the last confrontation those two had. In any case, the sodomized mobile says Bleach. I will leave it there. You guys have a good week. We will see you again soon. And again, thank you very much for being here. And I hope you're having good days. I hope you continue to have good days. And as always, rise.